All right. So we are Grasswire, and Grasswire is based off of the idea that we don't feel it's right that basically right now corporations and governments, depending on where you live, determine what information you see from the news. So the name is derived from grassroots newswire. So when any event happens, you see all sorts of, all the social media outlets explode, but making any sense of that right now is really, really difficult. So that's part of the problem we're trying to solve. So right now, we are tracking actually this event right here. So we're tracking the tags New Tech Tour and SFNT. So if anybody will tweet or Instagram or post a YouTube video or do anything else that will plug into a number of other APIs, we'll see it pop down in real time. And then if you think something's pretty cool, you can add it to your favorites, and it goes up here, makes it a little bit bigger. But kind of the cool part of what happens when we do that is the data that we get on the back end and what we can do manipulating that data. And basically, we're building right now a real-time Reddit. So in real time, you can see what's happening, and you can sort something out. And we'll be able to show you the favorites chronologically based on an algorithm that we're finishing up. So yeah. And we accidentally kind of launched this last week. It wasn't ready to launch, but I posted a comment much to my co-founder's chagrin in a Hacker News article, and it kind of took off. So this is from, it started out actually as the Boston Marathon, and it ended up as the manhunt in Watertown. So we kind of just posted a comment, and we're like, hey, check this out. We don't know if anybody will care. It's not ready yet, but whatever. And that day, we got our first 6,000 unique visitors, and the next day, we got 17,000. So we only wasted about 250 hours of people's time. But it was pretty fun. And it definitely wasn't ready to be released yet. It was on a dev server, so we would watch the real-time analytics go from 100 people on site to 200 to 400, and then it would crash. And it would go back down and kind of start all over. But it's been pretty fun. So this up here is kind of the aftermath, because we didn't turn it off for a while. And down here, you get into some of the more meaty stuff, which is, it's cool now, but in real time, there's some serious dopamine happening. So as you see these events developing in real time, it's pretty cool. So after the fact, it was like memes and jokes and that type of thing. But if we get down into the favorites, these are people saying, check this out. This is the front of the house of where the guy's hiding in the boat. Yeah, so these are the Google Earth. People are starting to gather that. Just random pictures of helicopters flying by and SWAT teams running around. And a lot of them say, this is from my window, this is from my backyard, these people are running around my house right now. So you could actually make sense of what was happening thousands of miles away based on the aggregation of social media. And as people sorted that out and kind of sorted through the garbage, because of course if you're following anything with the hashtag Watertown or MIT shooting, it brings out a lot of junk. But it makes it really easy to watch an event develop in real time. And I think you can go ahead and start asking questions now. I don't have another minute of stuff worth to say, but. Hey, that's me.
Austin, what are the sources right now?
Right now we have, in the Twitter lane, it's just Twitter. Media, we have Instagram, Flickr, YouTube, and Vine.
Hands up high. You're asking a lot of good questions. Here's a t-shirt.
Thank you. Sorry, I might have missed this when I was doing the let's see how meta this can get hashtag there, but
it's up there. Is that this one right here?
Yeah, the one that you just clicked on with the picture of you. But so how do you, you mentioned like that your feeds and on other places turn into a lot of noise. Like, so I don't know if I missed this, but how do you keep this here from turning into a lot of noise?
Yeah. So it does. turn into a lot of noise. For example, with the Boston Marathon, the Pray for Boston hashtag kind of dominated, and it was just a lot of Instagram pictures of people with a bunch of hashtags. So a few things that we do, we limit the number of hashtags. So if you have over 3 hashtags, it doesn't show in the feed. And we can use negative keywords. So if you say pray for Boston, we're not going to show that because it's probably just a repost. But there is a lot of garbage that goes through. That's the nature of social media, and that's what makes it so difficult. So the real power is in being able to highlight and filter out the good stuff.
Sort of to go along with that, it seems like your intent is to get away from the bias that you can obtain in normal media, and particularly news.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys have a monitoring system that will allow for not true media to be taken off? I mean, people
Yes.
could potentially, especially in the first moments of news when something happens, a lot of rumors get thrown out there and it may not be true.
Yeah, so that's part of what we're building into the next iteration. Obviously, we don't have that built in, but kind of the genesis of this idea is that we believe everyday people can create and curate and fact-check the news just as well as any news organization can. You don't need a degree from Columbia J School to be able to say, hey, this is valid. So in the next iteration, when you see the highlights come up, it has, in addition to the add to favorites or close or share or whatever, we're building in a fact check. So you can say, hey, this is false. Here's a source that proves that. And we can weed them out that way.
Out here. The question what I wanted to ask was, I'm not sure whether I missed it, but is there a revenue model for this?
Not yet. We've talked with a few people about everybody from investors to using it for your own social media management. Ideally, it would be, I guess, a consumer web play of enough that we would be able to plug in some advertising revenue, but that would obviously take some massive scale. So we're still figuring that out.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Can you tell me when the next iPhone is coming out yet?
I can tell you what people think.
Okay.
Tell me a little bit about kind of your thoughts on different filters that you can do. Certainly, the hashtags and kind of, looking by topic. What about, filtering by kind of what's popular? I see you have highlights. What about like what's new? What's kind of rising right now? And being able to, not just curate what's brand new and what's big. What are some other filters that you're planning on putting on the data?
Yeah, so basically this tool right here, we call it Fastlane, was created with the idea of being able to sort out the good content in real time. Once we have that content sorted out, and you can go down here and, I guess you can't on this version, but you can highlight things that other people have highlighted, and so we use those as inputs, and we can rank it in any number of ways. So we have a page that we're finishing up right now from the Boston Marathon where you can see, hey, this was the favorite stuff from the Boston Marathon from beginning to end. And you can sort it according to hot or according to overall top or trending or whatever. So that's basically all just data inputs that we can play with.
Hey guys, sorry. I wanted to say something. I'm Garrett, and just really quick, we don't have 26 seconds. But yeah, I was keeping the servers alive till like 4 a.m., and then I had a final at 7, so I didn't do really well. But just really quick, just hitting off of that note, like where we have high, low, like really cool things. As soon as we get data and people rank it, there's some amazing things that can be done. So I just stay tuned for what's coming. And like 3, 2, 1, done.
Yeah, that's it. Thanks.
Nice work, guys. Can I just ask one? Are you, for historic purposes, are you logging different? Does it go away in time, or is there ways to archive?
We are archiving some stuff right now. We're not following very many. I mean, like we said, we're still just building. But as far as like we had the Boston Marathon, we have all that. We have all the way back to the Connecticut shooting. We have all sorts of news events that we've been logging, and we have all that data. According to Twitter's API rules, we should probably dump that soon, but shh.
And so what we really like to do is like, there's a bunch of crap data that we pull down and save, and eventually what we want to do is like take that favorited stuff that people are like, hey, this is cool, and then delete all that spam that people say sucks, and then basically save that because it's worth saving. So, but yeah, thanks guys.
Nice work, guys.